Shalom, shalom, shalom. All honor, praise, and glory be to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua, Wahakodash Wakah. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at the great millstone who rule well. Of Yahshua Allah, peace and blessings to the brothers teaching the truth across the four corners of the earth, where we have been scattered to due to the curses, which was brought upon us by the breach of the covenant, a deal made by our forefathers, our ancestors, right, with the Most High God, who people ignorantly calls who people ignorantly call God, right, whose name is Yahweh. To the rest of you believers out here, you women and children, friends of the prophets of the Israelite nation, which consists of the so-called blacks, aka Negroes, Hispanics, and Native American Indians, to you, I say peace and blessings as well. If you're proven in faith, right, the faith by your works. Got a quick one. Ecclesiastes 3:1. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. I'll read it one more time. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Right? One more time. To everything there is a season, and a time to every purpose under the heaven. Right? Now, what is the heaven? The heaven is talking about the sky. Okay? Look, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to break down, a time to build up, a time to weep, and a time to laugh, a time to mourn, and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones, and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace, and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get, and a time to lose, a time to keep, and a time to cast away, a time to rend, and a time to sue, a time to keep silence, and a time to speak, a time to love, and a time to hate, a time of war, and a time of peace. All right? Now, this is just something that was on my spirit conversation I had with brother, and we were just talking about the times. All right? So I'm going to read verse 1 and one more time and say, to everything there is a season, right? And a time to every purpose under the heaven. So this leads me to First Thessalonians 5:1. Something I was just meditating on. You see? But of the times and the seasons, brethren, ye have no need that I write unto you. Why? Because you was already supposed to know this. This was written, this letter, right? The knowledge that was put in this epistle was well after Solomon, right? Was well after the time of Solomon, right? So you was already supposed to knew this. The Israelites at this time was already supposed to have this understanding, but of the times and the seasons, right? So when it's time, for instance, when it gets cold, it's time and it's snowing, it's time to put a coat on, man. Right? So you have to change with the seasons, man. When we're in the season of winter, it's time to put on layers. You need to move according to the seasons. You know? Because if you don't, you're going to be off. You cannot put layers and a coat on during the season of summer. Because if you do, you're going to burn up. You see that? And this is to you brothers, you men, women, you know, and children that can receive it, of the Israelite nation. This is how it goes, man. So when things is heating up in the news, you need to be taking stuff more serious, man. When the prophecies is speaking more and more, you need to be taking stuff more serious. When you're getting weak, you need to be fasting. When you need answers, you need to be praying, man. Really simultaneously, right? When you're when you're forgetting, scriptures or whatever, you need to study more, man. You need to read more. When you are sleepy and about to pass out, you need to go to sleep, man. Right? Because to every purpose is a time for it. Because the purpose of sleeping is during the times when your body can't go anymore and you're completely tired. The purpose of wearing a coat is for the times when it's freezing cold. To keep your skin from becoming frostbitten. The purpose of turning back to the Lord and making the sacrifices is because we're in the end times. And you don't want him to make you an involuntary sacrifice, physically. And what I mean by that, by death. So that's the purpose of turning back to the Lord. There's a purpose to turning back to the Lord because it's time. There's only so much time before he sends judgment on you. It's a purpose of repenting. 2 Ezra 9 and 6. Even so, the times, you know what? I'm going to start at 1. He answered me then and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself. And when thou seest part of the signs past, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. Even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. So you can clearly see someone is near their transition when they become old and they're up in age, right? They're finna transition. They're finna make their transition, right? What people call death, right? Because it tells us, it say, for like as all things in the world that had they be, it's for like as all that is made in the world had their beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. Right? Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings, and wonderful works. So you go times again, and powerful works, and eating it, and endings and effects and signs. Now, and everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works, and by faith whereby ye have believed, and shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in the land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Then shall they be in pitiful case, which now have abused my ways, and they have cast them away despitefully, shall dwell, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. For such as in their life have received benefits and have not known me, and they that have loathed my law, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. Now, you see, my point of getting this was verse 11, because it says, and they that have loathed my law, right? You wasn't doing it. You didn't care about it. You didn't care if you was disrespecting the Father by not trying to be according to it, right? By not trying to observe it. It says, while they had yet liberty. Liberty is when you're free, right? Like the grace period. You're free to get it together or bull crap, right? But during that time, guess what? And when as yet a place of repentance was open unto them. Repentance is actually open during this time, right? Time. So the purpose of repenting is for when it's time allotted for you to amend your ways, see the error in your ways, and correct them, and turn back to the Lord according to truth, and live your life accordingly, according to truth. You see? It says, understood not, but despised. So that's why I just wanted to get by that, man. The same must know it after death by pain. So we're supposed to be measuring the time diligently, man. And this is clearly telling us that we, to every season, Ecclesiastes 3:1. There is to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose. So as I said earlier, under the heaven, the purpose of sleeping is when it's time for you to recoup your body. And the season for a coat, which is a thing, is when it's the season of winter. You see? So the season for making these sacrifices, do whatever it may be, is when it's in season, right? Whatever thing that you need to do or that needs to be, it has to be when it's in season for it. When it's not in season for it, that thing doesn't need to be. You see what I'm saying? So when it is in season for it, that thing needs to be. You need to have a coat on when it's the season of winter. You need to have you some cool clothes when it's the season of summer. You probably need to have a light jacket when it's the season of spring, because it's still a little nippy. You can catch a cold. It's cold. It's wet. You know, it's trying to heat up, and things are trying to replenish. It's time to replenish. Just like fall, you need a light jacket. Get you a hoodie. You know, something like that. So when we're in a season, when it's time to cast away stuff, because we're in the season of the devil coming in, right? Locking everything down. This is just how you want to be thinking, you know, because I don't really got to say too much. This should be understood, and this should be a useful lesson in many ways. Right? Just like people go buy Bibles when they see God level catastrophic events starting to take place. Doom and gloom, if you will. So they go get a sword and they try to read it. Or they go look for answers. You might have more people calling you. You see? Like when we're in the season for when they start to deliver up believers of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah, the thing that needs to be is you laying low and staying out of communication with people who you know to be against the truth, to be against Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. And really everybody. Because if the Lord wants them around you, it'll be by the Spirit, man. So that's when that thing needs to be. You see? Because to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. So Lord willing, it's been edifying. I know more is going to come to me. It always does. I should have said this. I should have said that. But it tells us that the fruit of the Lord, he creates the fruit of the lips. So Lord willing, this has been edifying.